The Mysterious Cobbler, written by Arthur Spray. Today I'm going to use Julian Porter, curator of Bexhill Museum's summary of the book. And Julian has kindly let me narrate his summary and provide some photos and pictures to go along with it. Now, there is quite a lot to this, so it's probably going to be broken up into 2 videos, maybe even 3. But I'll jump straight in. So here we go. In the publisher's preface, we are told that the publisher, Francis Mott, met the author 4 years previously and was left with a positive impression. He states his opinion of the author quite clearly. Arthur Spray makes no pretences. That is why I like him. He does not pretend to possess knowledge, he merely does things and leaves the explanation to others. The preface makes clear that the Sunday Dispatch newspaper has already serialised the book. It mentions that Arthur Spray and his partner Alice demonstrated their uncanny abilities at the newspaper offices at Northcliffe House on the 3rd of January 1935. So the author's foreword. Here Arthur tells the reader about the clients that have sought out his services over the years. I've had important doctors, scientists, millionaires and titled people into my little shop. And he takes the opportunity to state his approach to his powers. He says, I am not a spiritualist, nor am I a yogi. I'm just a shoemaker. At this point, his address is confirmed as 16 Station Road, Bexhill-on-Sea in Sussex. So, moving to chapter 1. Titled Plain Me. This chapter tells us that Arthur was born in the Black House at Spray's Cottages, Sidley, Bexhill-on-Sea, Sussex, in 1889. He was the 13th child of a poor family, whose father died when he was just 13 months old. Arthur started work at the tender age of 7, left school at 12 and married at 19. While Arthur doesn't talk about the Great War beyond saying it was painful beyond words, he does mention that he was in the Navy. His first experience of healing came after the war while acting as a district visitor for a slate club, taking money to the sick. One old man just wanted to hold Arthur's hands, which eventually annoyed Arthur. When challenged, the old man explained that Arthur had healing hands, and this was the reason for his attentions. Arthur also recounts healing a young woman on of seasickness and a headache while on a boat trip. On one occasion, Arthur meets with his friend Harry, who tells him about hypnotism, which Arthur airs his doubts about. Later, while visiting 2 ladies, one has a headache and, knowing Arthur's tale of a seasick girl, asks him for healing. Rather than just taking the pain away, Arthur also puts her into a deep sleep and has to fetch Harry to show him how to bring her back. So chapter 2, How I Did It. So Arthur states, so far as I differ from the average man, is that I have a terrible power of concentration. He says that he has to take care not to fix people too much with my eyes, or they might fall asleep. It even affects his family life. He says, many of my family think I am a freak, or a friend of the devil, and so raise a barrier between us. I am a long way from being a freak, I feel. And as for being a friend of the devil, well, I reckon I haven't done as much as I have done as much as most cobblers to put a spoke or 2 into that gentleman's wheel. Not so long ago, I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Alexander Cannon. He gave me a copy of his book, Powers That Be, which explains much about the connection between concentration and hypnotism, but I have never been able to learn anything from books. Arthur tells of an old cure for warts by concentrating on a stone and leaving it on a gate, with the belief that if it is knocked off the wall, the wart will be removed. He cites this as an example of self-hypnotism. Chapter 3. Things begin to happen. The mysterious cobbler's fame has spread by this point, and Arthur has built an attic room for consultations. He states that although he had previously not taken any payment for the use of his gifts, he is now accepting donations for his services in order to make ends meet. Arthur describes healing problems with sleep, bilious headaches, and failing eyesight. He uses his hot breath and cold breath as well as his hands. He tells us, "I am not a religious man in the ordinary sense. I always say my power comes from God." He likens God to a huge wireless broadcasting station in a universe of vibrations of thought. Two young women come to collect some shoes from the cobbler, and one has a terrible headache. When not revived by a cup of tea, she reluctantly agrees to try Arthur's healing touch. Uric acid crystallized on his fingers as he worked, and she was healed. She demanded to know if he had hypnotized her. When he confessed that he had, rather than being angry, she was delighted and said that she would return next week. This woman was his future partner Alice, and thus began a psychic partnership which has produced the spontaneous marvels which are related in chapters to come.